Hello and welcome back. Today you are here with DESU Radio. My name is Anaya Balcom, and I have the amazing pleasure of interviewing
Beans Factor.
And Sara Factor.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are delighted to have you. So let's get straight into the questions because I'm really excited. So, our first question is, when did you start playing golf?
Originally, I first touched my first golf club whenever I was 3, but I really didn't start getting into playing and playing competitively until I was about 6.
Wow, okay, that's amazing. And you've been here, watching her blossom. So, how does that feel?
It's amazing. She is number 4 out of 6 kids, and each one has chosen a different sport. And this one has definitely taken her the furthest and farthest out of all the children. Everybody else is still in Oklahoma, but she's been able to see all over and meet different people from all over the world and travel the country.
That's awesome, and that just sounds like a dream come true. A dream come true for anybody that is in your position with playing sports. So I know that you have to thoroughly enjoy that. So now, what do you love the most about the sport?
I think definitely the mental part of it, just because it not only gives you mental challenges that will help you grow throughout the game, but also during life. It's very similar to life in many different ways, just like whenever you hit a bad shot, you have to get up and go to the next shot and be able to forget about it. And kind of similar to life, if you're having a bad time, you just have to pick yourself back up and be able to move on, and you know that there's always better to come.
I love that. That's amazing. That's so inspirational. I feel like anybody that's listening right now, they'll really be able to take something away from that. So, with that being said, how do you handle the pressure that you face on the court?
It's definitely hard. I still haven't become an expert at it. I'm still learning every time I play. But, after playing for so long and playing so many different courses and many different rounds, you kind of do have to get used to it and put yourself in positions during practice, or just also, like I said, in life where you have those pressure moments that will help you along the journey and throughout golf and just throughout your life.
That's amazing. I love that. And so, because I know that I see that you can, connect golf a lot with how you deal with things in life. Do you feel like that it's really has shaped your outlook on life? Was there ever a time where maybe you weren't playing golf and you were like, no, I need that to really refocus and recenter my life?
Absolutely. Well, a couple of years ago, we actually adopted some boys, and that's kind of changed my outlook on and my perspective on both golf and life, just because before then I used to always think golf would determine my entire life. It doesn't. It's just one round. If you have one bad round, that's going to happen. And from the boys, my baby brother, he's actually blind and he suffers from fetal alcohol syndrome. So that's very much so changed my perspective on how I see everything. So I'm very blessed to be where I'm at today and very grateful for everything that I've done so far.
That's amazing. I love that. And you just provide a different dynamic than what other, I feel like, college athletes have to offer because you're so well grounded in, yourself and within the sport of golf, and just knowing that even if you have maybe a bad day, that doesn't mean that you're going to have a bad life. That's just that second in time. So I absolutely love that. So what do you think will be the difference between high school golf, like how you're playing in high school versus when you'll play in college?
I think definitely one of the biggest differences there will be is, of course, school and the schoolwork. And then also you're getting to practice. You're getting to go to college for golf and being able to have that opportunity to travel further and be able to show off your skill and also just become a better player overall.
Amazing. I love that. And so now I want to know what made you interested in Delaware State University?
Definitely, it was, if I'm being honest, it was definitely the distance away from home. I come from Oklahoma, which is definitely a very boring state. We have a lot of prairies, more cows than people. Super fun. And I just know that there's more out in the world, and being able to come so far away, or being able to just explore and see new different parts of not only the world, but just America in general that I've never been to. And so.
I love that. That's amazing. And, I just have to warn you, we do have the cows out here, but you have to drive a little farther. We have deers, too. I'm coming from the city, so at first when I got here, I was like, oh, my gosh, there's another cow. So that threw me off a little bit. But so that's amazing. So I know prior to this, we were talking about, what was your favorite part of looking at these schools? And you talked about, the traveling because you really enjoyed that. So was there, kind of like a little piece of maybe information that you were able to gather from each school, like maybe a different lesson, like the same way that you do with golf, but okay, this school, I kind of understand that maybe I need to focus more on this if I'm going to go here, or maybe I need to do that if I'm going to go there. Was that did you experience that when you were looking at the different schools?
Definitely some schools I did. I kind of understood where the location was and being able to adapt to that location, or being in a busier place or being in a slower kind of steady pace, because in Oklahoma, almost besides the city, it's definitely slower. You don't get to see as much or get to see or hear as many cars, as you would in the city or any city. And so definitely kind of taking that in perspective whenever I'm touring schools, and then also just seeing the diversity inside all schools, because for me, I'm Native American, and it's not necessarily common that you see a lot of Native Americans, so being able to kind of find a home where there is a lot of diversity and being able to see many different types of people and just kind of really putting that in perspective whenever I choose. So.
Yeah. One thing that we have her do, because she's being recruited, I think we counted 9 D1s and then 32, 34 D2 on down have reached out or made offers to her. So we had to have her, okay, you need to decide. We're not touring everything. We're not doing officials everywhere. We're tired. We've got those babies.
Right.
So she had to really sit down and decide, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. And so that's the one thing is after these visits that she sits down and she writes pros and cons to each one. All right, does this matter? Okay, this school offers this, but this other school offers this. Which one would you be willing to sacrifice in order to decide where you're going to end up? She's supposed to have one more official visit after this, and I just want the process to be over. I'm so tired and done.
Yeah, I completely understand. When I was applying for schools too, I was like, I just can't wait until a month from now when I'm not applying anymore. I'm not checking my emails.
Yeah, and with her older siblings, they were athletes too, and they all said, oh, we're leaving as soon as we can. We're out of here, and every single one of them stayed in Oklahoma. She has said she's going to be gone ever since she's little, and we're like, okay, because they all said that. But here we are. I mean, this is a 21-hour trip from home, and so she stuck to her guns, and so she's not looking in-state at all. So here we are, 21 hours away from home.
Wow. And, I know that you said that you enjoyed the traveling and you were able to see so many different things, but how do you think it's going to feel being 21 hours away from home?
Luckily, I actually go to a tribal boarding school, which is 2.5 hours away from home. So that has kind of gotten me used to being away from family just a little bit, and then kind of given me sort of a insight into how it would look like being at college and just being away. So I think that definitely has helped me and will help me in the future. And then, of course, I'm going to get homesick.
Right.
That's just going to be a given. But I just kind of have to make sure that, I keep steady with golf and my education. And I know that I'll go home during breaks. So I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, and that's probably the biggest key is wherever she's picking, it's not close to home. So that's going to be the deciding factor is where she feels most at home, like with family. Right. So her teammates, her coaches, that's going to be the determining factor is who's going to be there, when everybody's gone and it's raining outside or you just don't feel good or you had a bad day, who's going to be there to pick you up?
Right. And I completely understand that because even though I'm only 2 hours away from home, I get homesick often. And even say if I have a cold, if I text one of my friends, I have 5 different people saying, do you need me to get you cold medicine? Do you need me to take you to the store? You know, so it's just that home feel. Like, even sometimes when I'm talking to my mom, I'll slip up and call, like, you know, Delaware State my home, and she's like, no, this is your home. So, you know, it gets to that point, but I'm so grateful. So even, like, if I'm going back home in June, I'm still sad because like I'm leaving my second home. And when you have something to feel so like, you know, torn to leave, it's like it's a blessing kind of like, because it's like at least I have something that makes saying goodbye like, you know, so hard. But you know, so I love that. So now going back onto the college route of golf, what are your like goals for your college golf career?
I definitely want to grow as a golfer and as a person. And then, of course, I want to be able to have a education and be able to have a career after I get out of college, because I'm wanting to major in finance. And so I definitely want to become something in that career field. I'm looking more towards an investment banker, and I know through golf that will help me. And then through finance, it'll help me through golf. So it kind of works together.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And would you ever, so I know that you said that, you know, you want to go into the career of finance, but if you were ever provided that option, would you, like, be interested in, like, playing professional golf one day?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I always strive to get better and work my hardest to always get to the next level, but I just want to be able to make sure that I have an education in my back pocket just in case. And if I ever do become to the level where I get pro, I would absolutely go.
Yeah, and it's so important, like, because first, she's identifiable. Second, you know, she's full-blood American Indian, Native American, depending on your terminology. But right now, there has been one man who's ever played, and it's no topic gay. There are people who have, you know, Native in their bloodline, but like I said, to be a full-blood Native, it's rare. There is a young lady who is playing right now, but nobody really follows her, you know, but she already has a fan base and following, and so hopefully that may get her to the next level, you know. And the difference, too, is coming. I know you had asked earlier about high school and the collegiate golf experience. The big thing is she will have resources daily. You know, at home, financially, we can't offer that to her.
Absolutely.
You know, we are in an underrepresented, you know, culture, and so again, she's number 4 or 6, so you have to decide which one are you going to pay for this weekend,
right?
You know, but here on the collegiate level, she has access to that every day, so her game can improve. You know, her practice can improve. So I think that's going to be the big difference. And so hopefully she'll get back to or get to the top of her game all over again.
And I believe it. I definitely think you can, because you have such a poise and just a great energy and personality. So it's like, even though like your game is amazing, when you have that put together, you can be unstoppable. So now lastly, do you have anything that you would like to say to fellow college athletes, or maybe students that are in the same position as you, where they are looking at prospective schools?
I think the biggest thing is definitely trust your feelings. Definitely trust where you feel most at home, and where you feel that the people will respect you and you will feel comfortable no matter what. And just like my mom said, is definitely find a place where people will pick you up whenever you're feeling down, and kind of have a perspective into what it would be like as not only an athlete but as a student, because you're a student first, than an athlete.
Right.
And so I think that's definitely important as well.
Pray. Just, she's got to be praying, and she's got to, you know, she's got to find that, you know, we're Christians, so she's got to find that too.
I agree. And I think one thing too that helped me the most, like when I was looking for colleges, was just I prayed to God, and I was like, you know, I know that what I want, but I said, whatever your will for me is, let it be done.
Yes.
And
yes.
I think that it helps so much. And like coming here, like I really want to come to Delaware State, but I said, you know, if there's somewhere else that I need to be, I'll go there. And once I got here, I said, no, this is where I need to be. So, you know, I pray that you have that same outcome with wherever you would like to go as well. And one more question before we wrap up, then we'll really wrap up. As a parent, just seeing your daughter go through this process, do you have any advice for other parents out there that are in the same shoes as you?
Regardless of what we as parents want, at the end of the day, it's her decision, and we've got to stand by it. So, you know, Like I said, I could tell her to go up and she's going to go down. I could say go left, she's going to go right. You know, this is a process that as parents we have to learn, our children learn, and they've got to live through and learn. And whether, you know, her decision may take her down the right road or the wrong road, we just have to stand by them and support them regardless. Everybody learns.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of
Thank you.
your day to speak with us. This is Anaya and
Beans Factor.
And Sara Factor.
signing out. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.